Okay, welcome to part 2 of my series, all about my experience on drill team. Today, I want to tell you about the most embarrassing moment of probably my entire life. And you're welcome. Here we go. I'm the kind of person who's an open book. I already am having regrets about this, so I'm going to hurry and record this before I get too in my head about it. So, as I mentioned in the last video, if you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. It's so good. You'll see video evidence of me jumping on a pogo stick with no hands. Yes, be very amazed. I'm so cool. Okay, so I was asked to join the drill team. I got on the drill team, and then I went to orientation. So they had the parents and the girls orientation. Most of my peers, this was their third year or fourth year on the team. This was my first year on the team. I didn't know what to expect. They had asked me to join, so I was like, I tried out and I made it. So we go to this orientation, and it's my mom and I. At this point, my parents had divorced, and very recently. I want to say the divorce might not even been finalized. They might have been separated for the last 9 months to a year. It was pretty new. My mom is now a single mom of 6 kids. I'm her second oldest. And she doesn't have a job. She's been a stay at home mom her whole life. She's trying to figure out how to provide for these kids and hoping that maybe my dad pays child support, which sometimes happened, sometimes didn't. He didn't really have a lot to pay for child support. And so we go to this orientation and they sit us down and they kind of explain like the schedule and what to expect and everything else. And at one point, they explain that the fees for the team are going to be $500 per person. And I had no idea that this was the case. And what happened next was the moment that I just wanted to crawl into a tiny ball and go in a cave and never show my face again. My mom stood up in that moment and she said, I'm a single mom of 6 kids. How am I supposed to pay $500? And I wanted to crawl in a hole. I was like, all my peers, all these girls that I want to impress, all these girls who are the most popular girls in school now know the truth about me. Maybe I thought I could hide it before. Maybe I thought maybe they wouldn't know how poor I was. But now they know. Now they absolutely know how poor I was. And the coach was kind of like, let's talk about this afterwards. Maybe we can figure something out. And my mom sat down and I was just like, that's it. This is so humiliating. I can't believe that she just did that in front of all my friends. So for most of my life, I've had that story as just a real painful moment in my history of realizing who I am and how worthless I was and how I would never make money. Some of you, this is going to date me. Talking about this will date this video. But as of right now, it's the middle of June. Fable 5 released on Anthropic last week, I think. And I was like, let's see what this thing can do. I'm going to test it out and see if it can help me with my money mindset. I have tried working with coaches on my money mindset. I have tried journaling on my money mindset. I've tried meditating. I've tried hypnosis. I've tried everything to try to reframe my money mindset. Intellectually, I can see that the way that I'm thinking does not align with reality. However, there's that poor wounded girl in me who grew up in poverty, who believes that she's less than, who believes that she's not going to be good enough because she doesn't have the same resources and the same money as everyone else around her, and believes that if she's able, this is where my Enneagram 3 comes from, the achiever. The achiever is all about status. If I can just gain the status, then I can finally feel lovable and worthwhile and worthy and valuable to other people. And so I'm always chasing money and always thinking if I just had whatever it is, then I would finally be happy. The truth of the matter is, I have everything that I've ever wanted. And yet I'm still, well, it's probably not enough. And studies show this. If you go up to a rich person and you ask them how much money they would need to be happy, if you go to a person who has $500,000, they'll tell you they need $1 million. If you go to a person who has $1 million, they'll tell you they need $2 million. If you go to a person who has $2 million, they'll tell you they need $4 million. You can see where this is going. Everybody just doubles what they have and says that once I get to that point, then I'll finally be happy. It does not matter how much these people have. There's no number that these people are like, oh, 5 million is what any human needs and you're going to be fine. Every single person will just tell you that they need double what they want. I know that this is a fallacy. I know that this is what my brain does, and I know it's not real. And yet I'm so stuck in this. So Fable 5 came out by Anthropic. And I was like, let's test it out. Let's see if it can help me with my money mindset problems. And so I was telling it about this moment. I told it about the moment where I realized that I wasn't worthwhile, the moment that I realized that I wasn't valuable, the moment that I was humiliated in front of my friends. And the reason I'm bringing up this whole entire story is because I want to point out the effectiveness and the value of reframing your mindset. There are so many thoughts and so many beliefs that go through us. And when people come into coaching, they're like, oh, I don't have time for coaching. And I'm like, what coaching actually is, it's a paradigm shift. Once you see it in a new way, you can't unsee it. Coaching is not about worksheets and hours spent doing homework and everything else. It's about conversations and reimagining the way that you see your situation, imagining it in a new light so that you can be free from those beliefs that were keeping you stuck and you can move forward. I had a client, you may have heard of him. His name's Brandon Fluharty. Brandon and I worked together in 2019. And Brandon came to me and said, I am the top rep at my organization. I am the VIP. I won the VIP award at SKO last year. And I always feel like I'm not cut out for sales because I'm an introvert. I hate going to steak dinners. I hate having small talk. And that's what salespeople are. They're so good at talking to people. They're so good at coercing with people and networking and talking and having conversations. And I'm not that person. And I helped Brandon see that the only difference with introverts and extroverts is how they like to expend their energy. Extroverts gain more energy from being around more people, where introverts are not antisocial, which is the misconception that a lot of people have. Oh, you're introverted, you don't like people. That's not the case at all. Introverts just prefer fewer, deeper relationships. And so I helped Brandon see, actually, you're in the perfect place for your abilities and your natural inclinations. He was in strategic sales, where it is about fewer, very deep relationships. It's not a transactional sale. It's about deep relationship building. And when I helped Brandon see that that's what he's best at, he was able to release the belief that being an introvert was a problem in sales. And when he did that, he went and closed a massive deal. He made $1 million commission that first year. And then he did it 2 more years and retired. He made $3 million over 3 years and retired at age 42, I think. So I want to show you the power of reframing your beliefs and reframing your mindset. And it doesn't have to be something that's arduous. It doesn't have to take a long time. It usually takes somebody outside of you helping you to see things in a new light. And that's exactly what coaching is. So I was using Claude and Fable 5 as my way to reframe this and try to see things in a different light. And do you know what Claude pointed out to me? It said, in that moment, your mom showed that she was fighting for you. That wasn't a moment to embarrass you. That wasn't a moment to humiliate you. That was a moment of a parent showing their love to fight for what you wanted. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, I cannot unsee that. I can't unsee that. If you ever met my mom, loud is not the word that you would come to say about her. She is very introverted. She's a homebody. She's not particularly outgoing. She keeps to herself. She's not particularly loud. She's not particularly social. So she's the last person that you would ever expect to stand up in front of an entire room of people and say this. And yet she did that because she cared about me and she wanted to see me live my dreams. And now that I've reframed it in my mind, I can't unsee it. And Claude was even like, you come from a family of fighters. Look at what you did. You achieved joining an elite team and winning the state championship as someone who never had the resources to even take lessons. It's been so helpful for me to reframe this moment in my life. And I wanted to share it with you so that hopefully you can see reframes for moments in your life as well. You can see that you are wildly determined. You are a fighter. You are someone who doesn't give up. You are someone that no matter what is put in front of you, you're just going to figure it out. You're just going to keep going. There's no part of you that's going to give up, even when it feels hard. Yes, give yourself a rest. Yes, don't burn yourself out. Don't hustle and grind. Make sure that you have the energy that you need to make it through these transformations. But you know about yourself that you're not going to give up. So I wanted to offer that to you. I also want to mention I do speaking engagements. I would love to come and work with your team. I would love to help them change their mindsets. I'd love to help them with their productivity. If you want to learn more about my speaking services, you can go to mentalmastery.com/speaking and you can get all the information there. You can connect with my team and schedule a call with me. I hope this was helpful, and I have one more. This is part 2 in the series. I'm going to do part 3 next, so I'll see you next week.